Hello everybody! I wanted to give you a short overview of the main features of Cubeast. Cubeast is a speedcubing timer that was designed exclusively for Bluetooth cubes, so it doesn't work at all with traditional cubes. But because it works only with Bluetooth cubes, it can be so much more than just a simple timer. It can track, record, analyze, and store all of your solves. This allows it to provide a couple of really unique features that I think we've never seen before in speedcubing software. So let me show you guys an example of a solve. So this is a GAN 356i. We need to shake it first to turn it on. And now we can connect to it from the application. And for this solve, I will also use the StackMat timer. So let me turn it on. And let's connect to it. Okay. So before we start actually scrambling the cube, we need to tell Cubeast which method we're using. So we can do that here. Cubeast can analyze your solves, but in order to do that accurately, it needs to know beforehand which method you're using. Okay, so let's scramble the cube. We need to make sure we have the orange face in the front and yellow at the top. So let's scramble the cube. And Cubeast will tell me if I make any mistakes during scrambling. Okay. So now I have 15 seconds for inspection. Okay, let's start the solve. Okay, so now that we're done with the solve, Cubeast shows us the analysis of the solve. So we can see a bunch of basic statistics like the overall time, which would include penalties, if there were any, total number of turns per second. But we can also see the replay of the solve and a breakdown of the solve right here. So here Cubeast shows us how much time I've spent on execution and recognition of each of the steps. Plus we can see other things like the graph of TPS and a table with full statistics, and we have the entire solution here. Cubeast will list all of the solves in a given session here and calculate rolling averages here as well. If this solve was particularly interesting for whatever reason, you can generate a public link to it. So if you click here, Cubeast will generate a link, and if somebody visits that link, they will see the analysis of the solve that we are seeing right now. So maybe if you have a new PB, you want to share it with a friend, you can send them this link. So as you may have noticed, most speedcubing timers save data in the browser's memory, in the browser's cache, which means if you clear the browser's cache or you change devices, you lose your solve history. Cubeast has its own database, which means all of the solves are saved in the database forever, and you can see them here. You can filter them by dates, the methods you're using, devices, and other things. The last thing I wanted to show you is this statistics module. So here you can see a bunch of different statistics for all of your solves. Let's say, for example, we want to see how high my TPS is on PLL depending on the cube that I use. So let's select the step turns per second statistic, method CFOP, step PLL, and let's group by device. And here we can see that I am definitely the slowest on the Go cube, which is expected because it's not a very speedcubing friendly cube. And my PLL is the fastest on the GAN 356i, the second version. Let's see, for example, how often I do an X-cross, which basically means how often I skip the first slot. Let's disable grouping by device. So here we can see that I only do an X cross on around 7% of my solves, which is expected because I don't do an X cross very often. As you can see here, there's a lot of different statistics you can have a look at, and there's a lot of different ways to filter your solves, which means you can analyze your speedcubing skills fairly accurately and maybe find some weaknesses that you can work on. All right, so that's all I wanted to show you guys. Please visit cubeast.com to learn more, and thank you for watching.